Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well, but I figured it was high time for a studio vlog because it has been quite a while since I did the last one, and since then, a lot has changed. The main reason there was a distinct lack of studio vlogs for a while is I was actually in the middle of a couple of massive projects, which I'm still not completely finished yet just because of the whole current situation. They kind of got shoved over and put on hold a bit, which I will get into more in a bit. But yeah, I was just completely focused on that and just really didn't have anything outside of those projects, which are going to be turned into a video at some point when they are finished. But outside of that, I was basically working on nothing, so studio vlogs weren't really a thing, but I really like doing these. I know you guys like watching these, so here is a new studio vlog. But I think because there is like a decent amount of updates and just kind of things that I want to mention, that I'm gonna go ahead and start a bit of a sketch and talk to you about different things. So the clip that I recorded for this entire sketch portion got all messed up, so here's some footage from an upcoming video and a voiceover saying the exact same things. So like I was saying, I had spent the last like 2 to 3 weeks working on these massive projects. Like at this point I already have hundreds of gigabytes of footage from just the one. It was a costume and then a surprise. I don't want to like spoil the surprise until it's finished, but both projects were for a convention that I was supposed to go to, which it did somewhat obviously get cancelled, although I was planning on pulling out before it even cancelled just because I'm one of those lucky souls that's immunocompromised. I know I don't talk about this much, but I mean, it's an art channel, so I don't get a chance to really air my medical laundry on the internet. But I am type 1 diabetic, or as the kids call it these days, T1D, so I do have a compromised immune system, and going to conventions in generally involves me getting sick afterwards just from coming in contact with so many people, and just, you know, you're doing so much more, and it's just never a good situation when there isn't a pandemic going on. But honestly, the convention getting cancelled and my projects not having to be like imminently finished for it was a better thing, because already these projects were things that I was hoping to have finished earlier on in the year, and you know, there was the whole situation at the beginning of the year where I basically could not walk for 2 weeks after being sick for 2 weeks before then, so everything was just kind of in a chaotic state anyway, so not having the things to be imminently finished, like, the one project was very close to being finished, and it will get finished and you will see that in a video and all of that stuff, but just not having to be imminently finished means that, you know, the remaining parts can be done possibly better, like they're not going to be rushed, and then I can take my time and possibly add some different details and things that I definitely would not have had time for, and just overall I think the situation is going to work out for the better. And so obviously, as someone that is immunocompromised, I am not leaving the house, like, at all. Not that I really left the house anyway, which I know I kind of joked about in, like, I think it was my last video, but like, it's true, like, generally there's no big need for me to leave the house anyway because I work from home, but I know there's probably a lot of people that don't actually understand what immunocompromised is, and I mean, you can see that I'm not like some 80-year-old from my videos, and just like, I think a good example of this is like a few weeks ago, I left the house for one single day for 3 hours and got sick from that. Somehow came in contact with someone, and that like wiped me out a couple of weeks ago, and I was like freaking out because like I had to take a few days off, of course, because another part of having a terrible immune system is that it just like hits you like a train and then wipes you out for twice as long. So it's just overall not a great situation, and I was in the middle of convention chaos, and so I lost a few days on top of already losing and being behind like a month that I wanted to be. So there's an example. So like, stay home, people, if you don't get that by now, although I feel like eventually, gradually, the people that were possibly a little more skeptical are finally getting the importance and gist of things. So I hope it isn't going to have taken me to tell you to stay home for you to actually listen. Yeah, but so far lockdown life has been treating me pretty well. I mean, honestly, not much has changed for me personally, which I know is not the case for a lot of people, and I'm super lucky that I am in a good position with what I do, that it's not being affected that much. But there has still obviously been quite a few changes in my life, but I'm just really trying to go with the flow, which I pretty much always did anyway, just from, the nature of my work and health already. I feel like I've been prepared for this for a while, of just going with the flow and trying to make the best of the situation. So staying safe and healthy is obviously my first priority, but this sort of forced slowdown and staying at home is actually, I'm kind of want to say excited about, but again, sort of that idea of making the best of the situation. Like, there are so many projects that, because everything has kind of slowed down and there's only certain things that I can really work on, and I really don't have any excuse to change that. There's so many things that I have not had time for months that I'm now going to have an opportunity to do. It's like given me that drive back to put out more video content and sort of a certain level of video content. Like, I know I asked you guys what kind of content you were interested in seeing, and so I'm really trying to help you as best I can. Like, I know you're watching these videos because you presumably enjoy my content, and I want to do as much as I can in whatever small way that might be to put out an activity idea or entertain you for however many minutes the video might be, to distract you just from all of the other craziness. Then I want to be able to do that as much as possible. It's also like working for me too, like it's giving me specific projects to keep myself busy with that I also know is going to possibly be enjoyable for more than just myself. Like, all of you, you're going to be interested possibly in that video topic, and it's going to benefit both of us. So that's my whole little update and spiel on that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because it was my original plan, like after the convention was over, I was going to go back to more of a normal schedule, but specifically I wanted to go back and work on what I had promised you at the beginning of the year and last year, and that was more travel palettes. I'm going to switch back to the one-on-one face thing for a bit, just because it feels a little strange to sort of talk about this and not have me actually saying it to you in person. But yeah, like I was saying, one of the things that I was planning on doing after getting past all of the convention craziness and those massive projects was working on more travel palettes, because I know you guys are obsessed with them. Okay, quick little timeout. I am aware I'm talking about travel palettes. In no way am I suggesting that you actually travel. Like, stay home people. I feel like most people that are interested in these are more interested in them being more of a compact palette, but I'm also aware that I'm about to say travel palette a whole lot. So just wanted to put this little disclaimer in here. And I promised you that in the new year there would be more, and then my beginning of the year was absolutely crazy with health problems, and so the first time that I was having a chance to do this was going to be like literally once the convention was finished, I was going to basically get back to it, which would have been today, and actually start working on the travel palettes to get them up as soon as possible, basically, so that they were available for you guys to order. And it doesn't feel right now to put, because they do sell out so fast constantly, and I know that they probably would all sell out, and it just feels weird turning into a salesman now. Like, there's way more important things right now than the travel palettes. But that being said, I understand how art supplies, like even for me, I understand the joy that new art materials and art supplies can bring people. Like, I'm definitely one of those people. Like, heaven's sakes, I literally just got this super nice ceramic dish because I really liked the wells on them. This is a complete tangent, but like, the point is, I totally get how an art supply is like a small little thing that can bring a lot of joy to someone, especially if you're one of the people that missed out on these travel palettes before and has been like waiting for them to come back, and I just haven't had time to it. So what I'm going to do, because like I said, it just, for me, it doesn't feel right to do the normal kind of palette drop where there's a limited number and you're basically, it's like the Hunger Games of who watches the video the fastest and can get to the selection first. And I know currently this is like so far from a lot of people's minds, but I also know that there are probably people that these palettes would bring, you know, some amount of joy to, and you've been waiting for them or whatever. So what I decided to do, which I feel like there needs to be an asterisk here as like a limited amount because I have no idea how this idea is going to go over, but what I have decided to do to just kind of be in the in-between balance portion of this is, for a limited time, a limited number, whatever, I'm going to be offering, if you are really interested in buying one of these palettes, I'm basically going to do them as a custom commission type of thing. So if you're really interested in one of these, email me. They're going to be the same price as they always are, but I'm going to make a specific one for you basically. So I think I'm going to do it that if people are interested in this idea, I'm gonna have like some sort of chart with, I have a picture of a bunch of the ones that I did previously as things. We're gonna figure out some sort of chart idea so someone could say like, you know, I really like how this one looks, and you know, tell me your favorite colors or whatever. We're gonna figure out something along those lines. So basically custom palette commissions for a limited amount. I mean, I'm a one-man show, so I can't do like 50 of these in a day. So asterisk there, but I really hope that if people are interested in this idea that I will be able to fulfill all of them eventually. Like, they might have to be in waves, maybe you have to be put on a wait list, whatever the situation might be. If you are interested, email me. It's going to be sort of like a custom commission type situation, but it's going to be the exact same price as if you were interested in buying one of the pre-made designs that I would normally be offering. But like I said, it doesn't feel right. Do not worry, eventually, once things just are possibly in a better place, I will be going back to the normal palette drops of the, you know, it was going to be a bigger batch this current time, but, you know, things happen, life changes, so this is my sort of compromise because I do have all of the materials to be able to do these, so it's not like I'm putting myself at risk. I will be shipping that, obviously, but there are lots of different protocols that I can take that is not going to be a big issue in that regard. This was my compromise because of just everything. So yeah. Email will be listed, probably has been listed for a while in this video, will be listed down below, and you know, you can email me and we will figure out and go from there. Now that I rambled on about that for ages and absolutely did not go over that whole segment concisely at all, let's get back to the normal studio vlog. Now, one of the projects that I've been considering, probably because finally after like a month of chaos, I actually have time to breathe and possibly get stuff done that should have been done months ago. But this whole area, specifically this desk, which I'm aware there's a variety of things on it that I'm not going to explain just to bother you all, but this desk has always been, I don't want to say an issue, but a point of debate. Lately I've been just looking at this section just for practicality reasons in my studio, how I could possibly improve it for just me, my workflow, all of that kind of stuff. And this desk in particular, I really like this drawing desk. It can flip up, like be a drafting table sort of situation. It has this awesome blue glass that looks incredible in videos, but this is always been a point of debate because I don't really use it. Like, I love it, but I have more issues with it than like I have more cons with this desk at this point than pros. Like I definitely really like it, but I mean the main problem, which is gonna sound really stupid, it's too tall. Like this is like a standard desk height, and you're probably not gonna be able to see this on video, but if I like go across, you can see the height difference, which it doesn't look like a lot on camera, but because of its extreme height difference between like a standardized desk height, it doesn't work for a lot of things. And last night it just kind of hit me, and I was determined to figure out this whole situation. Like I have seriously considered moving this drawer unit or switching it over or doing something with it, but I think I have figured out finally a solid, good plan for this whole area that I am really happy with. So I'm gonna go over that and show you what the game plan is. So the overall plan is to actually recycle a whole bunch of different furniture pieces that I already have and I'm not currently using. So the first piece that I'm actually using is just an IKEA tabletop, and on the one side I'm going to use 2 legs, but on the left side I want to repurpose this bookshelf that's currently in my bedroom, but it's actually imminently getting removed and replaced with something else, and I figured making this custom bookshelf leg would work great because it means I get even more storage in my studio, which is always a benefit. But for this to actually work out, I'm going to need to create some custom legs for it so that it matches the leg height of the actual legs. Now, I wasn't necessarily planning on designing custom legs myself to 3D print, but Thingiverse is like completely broken, so I could not for the life of me actually find any possibility of a leg that I could use, so I just figured super quick, it took me like 10 minutes, I might as well just custom 3D design a leg that I was happy with myself. They're really nothing fancy, it's basically a leg that has a plate on it, and the plate actually has areas for the screws to go into. And then those got shipped off to my printer, and I decided to print them in white plastic. And here are what the finished legs look like. They are incredibly strong. I printed them at 40% infill. They are incredibly strong. So here's the desk in the surrounding area all cleaned out, and now all that is left is attempting to actually get it out of this room, which is going to be a feat in itself, so I'm just going to show you the aftermath. So clearly the desk is gone. We've got the new tabletop up here, the 2 legs there, and then the shelf part itself as well. So if you're interested, this is one of the thin, tall Besta units. They are just the adjustable legs that I don't even know if they make anymore. I have extra screws and plates here. I don't need the plates, I probably need the screws though. We have the supervisor, more extra screws that's just like basically left over from doing stuff, and then this is the like Linmon. I'm assuming it might have been called something else when I bought this, but it's the 60 centimeters by 120 centimeter tabletop in white. So here's what the bottom of the Besta looks like with the legs all installed. I added some little felt dots just to ease it on the flooring. But yeah, now that that is done, I'm gonna flip it over and then figure out the leg situation on the desk. So here's the table all inverted and right side up, and what I have decided to do to like stabilize everything and make everything attached, instead of actually screwing completely through like the top of the Vesta and into the desk, I'm just going to use some super heavy duty mounting tape, because this stuff has never failed me. It's probably going to be perfectly fine in this situation, and this piece of tape is just the half mark. So I'm going to be lining up the edge of the desk with that and sticking it onto the mounting tape. So I actually decided to fill in the raw edge of the shelves with some white wood filler, just because the shelves actually weren't finished on the one side, even though the actual full unit itself is. So just to make things look a little cleaner, I also tried to paint the like track part where the back normally goes on this. I didn't really want to fill it in, just in case at some point I might want to repurpose this and put the back on it. So I painted it white. You like basically can't even see that I tried to paint the other one. This does look a lot cleaner, just for it not being the like particle board color. So that looks a bit better, but now I'm going to actually try and get this entire desk set up and functional for me. So with a bit of reorganization, here's what things are looking like now. So I put my brushes that I use for like prop making and stuff, and my erasable like coal erase pencils in my Ghibli cups. I really love them, so having them on this desk and having them be functional as like art material holders is awesome. And the stuff that was like in the drawer thing on the old desk got moved around, like equally as practical. I put the more used things like the ruler and the circle template in this like magazine holder thing, so it's like still accessible. Really, the scissors, which is like way blown out. The scissors were pretty much the only thing that I didn't have like an amazingly perfect spot for, but they're gonna work perfectly fine there. And then everything else pretty much went into this top drawer, which was pretty much like a top of the desk drawer anyway. Things that would have normally been on a desk, I ended up putting on here just to keep things clean. So I had all of the random pens and pencils and things in this container. Things might get reorganized a bit later, but for now this is going to work fine, like perfectly, because I know where everything is. So it's got the extra erasers that were in things, extra sharpeners. I don't think any of those were in there. In like the old desk. The masking tape is back in here with another one that I had in here. I don't use that very much, so perfectly fine here, and obviously it's the top drawer, so it's very easy to get to, and I know exactly where all of that is. And then as for the shelf section, I put the upper shelf very high up to kind of work as like a drawing rack sort of thing, basically like a replacement for where I was sliding in the paintings and stuff that I just wanted off my desk. It's not really a drawing rack because I never pretty much put anything that's actually wet on this. It stays on my desk. It's more like I need it off my desk for some reason, and so that's kind of what that upper shelf is. And then the next one I put a much higher because I plan on possibly using it for sketchbooks and things. Just some things right now, like I really don't have anything to fill this up with yet, so I just grabbed a couple of sketchbooks that I've been working in and put them in like one of those pot dividers, like pan holder things. And then this I basically put there so that that doesn't slide around, and also this just might in general stay here because it wasn't really working where it was in my cube organization. And then on the bottom shelf right now I just have some stuff that was sitting on top of a box that was under this desk, just to basically get it out of the way. So nothing too exciting yet. His Highness is of course back on his perch. So yeah, that is the situation of what things are looking like. Eventually I might kind of build out some custom storage or stuff for underneath there. I don't really want to mess with it yet, just until I kind of feel out what I would use, like what I would find beneficial, especially because right now that would be a great spot to be able to put my iPad. Like with the other desk I would always put it up here, which could definitely still work, but I'm just gonna wait because I don't really need any extra storage at the moment, so I'm just gonna see what I might need and go from there. The other thing, right now I am going to leave this divide bit here that it's uneven. Eventually, just depending on things, I might cut a piece of wood or something to even it out. But for right now, that's going to work great for putting my tripod legs on, just so it's not like on the rest of the desk. Or again, I could build some custom storage along there in the same idea that the other desk had, like some storage like this or something, like 3D print it, something that has the like individual slots for pens and stuff, or it just becomes like a cup holder shelf thing. But again, I'm not in a big rush. The other thing, I moved my tabletop easel. It's like the Winsor Newton one. It was in my closet, but it's been out of this studio for a few months now just because I didn't have a spot for it again ever since I switched over my closet, which is now a mess because of everything I had to move out of there. But ever since I switched to those taller shelf units, this easel hasn't been in my studio, and that is basically my alternative solution for if I need that kind of drafting table desk idea. That is what I will use. That's kind of why I was not too concerned about getting rid of the old drawing desk, because that pretty much does the same thing, and so this is just generally going to work better for me day to day. And then if I actually need some sort of easel situation, like I have like a full-blown artist easel, but just for the things that you need more of the entire tabletop idea, that is where that will come in handy. The other thing is that right now the tabletop is obviously just its standard white self, but I was considering, especially because it is a little scuffed up in some places, actually putting like contact film or something on it, like the vinyl stuff like I have on this one. This one's obviously marble, and I do really like the marble, but I'm not sure if I really want 2 marble desks. I'm just undecided because the vinyl contact paper does come in a whole bunch of different textures or whatever you want to call it, like patterns and stuff. So let me know what you think I should do and what you would like to see on camera, because like I said, the marble does work well on camera. So I'm definitely up for marble again, possibly. It really depends, because a lot of things, especially like if I did like a fake wood, a lot of different colors of things mess with cameras and the white balance and everything, and it just does not work well, especially since I obviously film a whole bunch of stuff on the desk, so that's something I have to consider. But if you have any ideas of desktop possibilities, maybe you think I should just keep it white or do another marble desk or whatever, let me know, because I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And that is going to be where I finish this studio vlog off, seeing as the desk is finished, and right now I don't have any particular custom storage projects in mind. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.